Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be part of the Stu crew. Don't forget that hit that like button so you can see more of these kinds of videos. And again, don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get push notifications on when I drop my videos and stuff. Last video, I talked about my top 10 pitchers going into the MLB in 2021 in this upcoming season. And today we're going to be moving over to the position players. We're going to be talking about the top five. Yeah, I know I changed from top 10 to top five, but the top five, the cat. Without further ado, let's get this video on. Alright, so we're going to be starting off with the catchers as I previously mentioned, and coming in at the my number one catcher going into 2021, we got JT Realmuto. I mean, JT, he's indubitably the best catcher in the MLB. He's got it all. He's got fantastic fielding. He's got pretty solid contact, really good contact. He hits bombs. He can do that. And surprisingly, this is actually not a stat that very many catchers have. Like basically no catchers have nowadays is speed. The guy has speed on the bases. I mean, he can run. I mean, he can steal okay, but the man can run for a catcher. I mean, that you don't see that in like very many catchers today, especially if you're squatting like that all game long. And this guy has it all. This guy he's the real deal. I mean, he also obviously signed that huge deal with Philadelphia, that huge extension, the highest paid catcher of all time in Major League Baseball. And I mean, the man deserves it. He can hit for power, he hits for contact, he has great fielding, pretty solid arm strength. I mean, in 2019, he had the highest caught stealing percentage in the MLB with 47, which is ridiculously high. And this guy is definitely my number one catcher going into 2021. All right, now coming in at number two, this is another catcher that had a fantastic year this past year. It's Salvador Perez. And Salvador Perez, I know he's getting pretty old, but he's still, in my opinion, one of the best catchers in the MLB, and deservingly so. In 2020, he had a really, really good year. I mean, 2019, he was out with a Tommy John surgery. He had that Tommy John surgery early on in the season, and he was out for 2019. But this past year, he showed that he can hit and he can hit home runs. I mean, the guy finished with a 333 batting average, and he had a good amount of home runs too to boot. I mean, that's really what you want out of a catcher. A catcher is a position where you want solid fielding, which is what Salvador Perez has. I mean, he still has that solid fielding even after all these years. He hits for power. I mean, you obviously want that out of a catcher. The catcher is like a power position, and he hits for contact too. You don't see that out of very many catchers nowadays. A lot of catchers like are usually like raw power or like hit for decent contact, but this guy has really good contact and really good power, and he still has that solid fielding. That is why he's my number two catcher going into 2021. All right, now coming in at number three, a lot of people are gonna say, "Dude, you're really biased." I'm not. It's Christian Vasquez. Christian Vasquez has in the past two seasons shown that he can hit a good amount of home runs. He drives in runs. He has a solid average. I mean, he hit above like 270 in the past 2 years. That's really impressive. I really like that about him. He also has really, really good fielding. In 2019, he was a Gold Glove finalist, and I mean, this guy has it all. He in 2019, I know this is 2 years ago, but in 2019, he was third in the MLB in caught stealing percentage. He was behind obviously JT, who led the MLB, and then Roberto Perez, who led the American League. But Roberto Perez is a purely fielding catcher. He can't hit at all. Vasquez can hit. He has pretty solid average. He can hit home runs, which is obviously what you want out of a catcher. And he also drives in runs. So obviously when there's like base runners, he can drive in the runs. That's really what you want out of a catcher, a guy that can hit and a guy that can field pretty well. And Vasquez is really good. And the reason I put him at three is because he doesn't have the average that um, Salvi has or like the power that JT has, but this guy definitely has what you need out of a catcher, and he deserves to be number three for the list of catchers going into 2021. All right, now coming in at the number four spot for my catchers going into 2021, we got Will Smith. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, "Isn't Will Smith the pitcher?" No, I'm talking about Will Smith, the catcher, the Fresh Prince of Chavez Ravine, if you will. This guy has shown that Again, he can hit for average. He had a 289 average this past year, and he hit 8 home runs. And this guy is a pretty decent fielder too. And this guy is gonna blossom into a superstar in my opinion. And the reason that I did put him at number 4 though is because he's young. He still has a lot to prove. For all I know, he could bat like 230 this year and only hit like 10 home runs. But if this guy keeps, I think this guy has the ability and the potential to keep his consistency into 2021. And I definitely think that he could definitely be a really good catcher behind the dish for the Dodgers. And this guy definitely does hit home runs. He has hit home runs in 2019 in his rookie year and in 2020 when they obviously won the World Series. But if this guy um, keeps his forward momentum going into 2021, he'll definitely blossom into one of the best catchers in the MLB. That is why he's my number 4 catcher going into 2021. All right, now coming in at number 5, we got Yasmani Grandal, and Yasmani Grandal. A lot of people will say the guy doesn't hit very good, like he doesn't have very good contact. Obviously, he doesn't. The guy had 230 average, but he did hit a good amount of home runs, and he does have a very solid like fielding percentage. He can field. He has a very good DRS to go with that too, and the arm strength's there. He can throw out like base runners trying to steal, and but the thing is, this guy can develop into a guy with better contact. I mean, you saw that with Vasquez. Vasquez didn't hit very many home runs, and he had rather poor contact back in like before 2019. But 2019, 2020, Vasquez has shown that he can get that average up, and I think that Grandal can do that too. If Grandal maybe gets that average to like 260 or even like 270, he'll definitely be a very valuable catcher. I think that Grandal definitely has a potential to do that. He'll definitely have another like fantastic year this year. He's my number 5 catcher going into 2021. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be dropping the top 5 first basemen going into 2021 very soon. Anyways, this is Sid signing off. Peace out.